Welcome back to the MVM Show, guys. I'm your host, Titus, and my beloved brother here today, Thomas. And we were trying to get me, Thomas, and Travis all linked up together, and I would say we probably will at some point, but between work and life and stuff planned personally, it just didn't line out, but I really wanted to go over some of this stuff today anyway. So, welcome back.
Been a while. I can't remember the last time I was on the podcast.
I don't think it's as long as you think because I hadn't done them.
You haven't been doing them?
I got kind of chewed out a little bit by the listeners that I didn't do them for most of the duck season. Once it started, and I said I was going to too.
Yeah.
I say that every year.
Yeah, you say that every year.
Literally.
There's just no way you can. I mean, it's too busy.
Yeah.
Between, like you said, actual life and then trying to hunt a lot. You're scouting, hunting, getting ready for the next one, cleaning up from the last one.
That's literally what, even if you only go 2 times a week, it feels like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, if you're going 3 times a week, it's like you don't ever stop.
No. You're always repacking, setting up,
cleaning birds, you're doing, getting your stuff, shells, this, that, cleaning, whatever.
Clean your bag out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's constant. And I like it. But to throw in the mix of recording would be easy. If I had someone to sit there and edit and throw it up for me, I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, I don't mind recording. I got stuff to talk about, but then I got to sit here and go on YouTube and go on this platform to get it. I don't know. It's just, I told him I'm not going to make any more promises anymore. I promise. I promise I won't make any more. I promise. Oh, man. I say it every year, too, and I'm like, this time's going to be different.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I promise
you start out the year with great intentions to do this and this and that.
After duck season's over, I'd run it all the way through till duck season's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's just another thing. It's just that extra little bit of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think too, part of that, we always start and just go way off from what we needed to talk about. But I think part of that reason is if each year you were just only doing and going to the same places, I feel like there's a little bit less involved. But because I feel like each and every year we do go into some new things and some new avenues and some different timing and whatever. I think there's a little more. I mean, there's more work into that, like
totally
scouting and I don't know.
Even on the trip itself, it's more because you're trying to figure new stuff out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How amazing was our trip up north with John and Morgan and Jake, and how amazing was that? That was the easiest.
That's the best out-of-state trip I've been on. It with people know we go to Washington, so that was my favorite Washington trip. And this is what, year 6, 7? I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's been a long time, and if every trip could go like that, whatever state you were going to. Man, it's like, I don't know how you could stop because it's just like that trip was what I want. I mean, that's what you want every trip to be, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like that was a combination of years of going and, and learning. And then, I mean, that's not to say, we have people that we know up there that help out a lot, so it's not like, don't want to sound that way.
Yeah.
But I just mean, just our timing, I guess our timing of the trip, that's so huge. We've talked about that a lot. We got lucky and blessed on our timing going up there. And then also, just the way it played out with each and every hunt was just like, it was awesome. Yeah. It was awesome.
Totally. And the group was fun too.
Yeah.
And there was something else I was going to add on to what you're saying there, because I guess we just spent enough time, but we know people too, and it helps. And I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to add to that. There was something, but so I guess that will lead right into us going on something totally new and different, which is totally different because we didn't have to do the work, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
it was a whole different experience too.
Mm-hmm. Going to Connecticut, with Jimmy Muller was a phenomenal experience. I actually haven't talked about it really at all on here because I wanted to wait for you and Travis. So, kind of wanted to tell everybody, and I apologize, my throat's kind of messed up right now, but I wanted to get us where it's us all three on here, but I think we will at some point. But what I wanted to talk about today with you is just the Black Duck Day, basically, period. This the whole experience from getting up in the morning to going out to the hunt, afterwards the food and the stuff we experienced.
Right.
Again. And so before we get into that, just real quick reminder, Jimmy Muller chokes. He just dropped a bunch more yesterday, I think for the Cryo Plus for 12 gauge and then some other ones too. So if you guys want 10% off, because 10% helps when the chokes aren't that cheap, right? And I guess they bumped the prices up a little bit, but price goes up, more discount, right? It's 10%, but so it definitely helps. Let's just put it that way. So if you put in the code MVM 2024, you'll get 10% off. I know there's a lot of you that are looking for certain ones, waiting for certain ones for production of them. He just, all the time I'm getting emails like, hey, these are back in stock. So just check it out, 10% off. Anyways, let's get into it. So how that started off is I started having conversations with Jimmy Muller on the podcast, talked about his chokes. It's just like it evolved so rapidly in that relationship that I had with him to where, let me ask you this. What was your first thoughts when I brought that to the table? Because I don't even know when that was when I first brought it up to you. Hey, what do you guys think about, doing a hunt in Connecticut? What's your legitimate, honest first thoughts you had, if you can remember?
You're kind of the one that maybe conversates more with all the people. So it's like we've went places and the people were like, I would say
not what they said.
Less than legit, if you could say it that way. So, that popped in my head, but I knew you had talked to him a lot on the podcast and kind of had already been, like you said, lessons learned on certain people aren't what they say they are or whatever. But I knew you talked to him a lot, and like I knew, I guess I just knew from the info like that you were telling me, you could tell that
it was legit.
This wasn't the case. Yeah, like this guy was, there's people that are like, we can call them blowhards or whatever, right? And then there's people that have nothing to prove because they've done it for so long. So what you normally get, right, is you have the people that could be blowhards on one end of the spectrum, and then you get people on the other side that because they have experience and they've been doing it a long time, they come off as a know-it-all. You don't want to be around either one of those people. And Jimmy was 100% not that way. So yeah, a little skeptical, but then like as time went on, I knew it was going to be good just from the info that you were saying. So I was pretty excited, but I just want to say Jimmy was by far an incredible host. Like,
go into that a little bit. Like, what was it? Because I've said that on here a bunch, but I want to hear it from someone else. And I know Travis will do the same thing. Like, go into details on like what your thoughts on why you feel that way. Just saw that.
Yeah. So I hadn't talked to him. I hadn't talked to him before going there. So period. Period.
Okay. Everybody hears that.
So getting there to his house was the first time I met him or talked to him. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of where to start.
That first night at his house.
Yeah, the first night, like, just very, very normal, very friendly, very, just excited that we were there, excited to hunt, loves to hunt, loves to shoot, he does what he loves. And that's, it comes easy when you're doing something you love, right? And so, just talking about hunting, talking about guns, talking about chokes and ammo and this and that, and talking about the next morning, what the plan was. Like Jimmy already had things planned. He knew where we were going to go. Tomorrow was going to be windy. We're going to go here because we'll stay out of the wind some. We're going to take this boat. We're going to do this. This is what to expect. Everything was already dialed because, again, like I said, this ain't his first rodeo. This guy's born and raised there, done it his whole entire life. Was not a know-it-all in any way, but in essence, he did know every single part of what was going to happen. But you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's all on the attitude, right?
100%.
Like he was excited. We were there. He was excited to go hunt. So that was really nice coming into. I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, everything was taken care of. Everything was, he's a good communicator. Like. You weren't.
That's a good way to put it.
You weren't guessing on what was going to happen. You weren't having to ask a billion questions, but he would let you know, and you could ask like, okay, so like I don't know what all you've said on here, but like day 1 was old squaw, day 2 was black ducks, day 3 was eiders and scoters. So. Like he said all that, right? But then on each day, like the first night, the next morning was going to be longtail or old squaw. And so like I said, immediately, right? He's like, okay, we're going to, because he has multiple different boats, different sizes, different uses. He's like, we're going to take this boat. We'll meet at this launch, this time. We'll go out here. It's going to be a real rough ride, but once we get in there, we'll be out of the wind. We should be able to set up. Current's should be coming from this way, yada, yada, yada. And then if you had little questions on something specific or whatever, he would, really good at explaining. And, I mean, it's a different world, right? Like sea duck hunting is a different world. We've done it a little bit, but I mean, we're absolutely not like sea duck hunters.
Yeah.
Yes, like we don't do it all the time like he does. This is his bread and butter.
Well, something let me throw in there. Did you realize the difference? I didn't. It dawned on me because when I was looking up regs and they talk about divers and they talk about sea ducks, it's a totally different. Just because it's a diver has nothing to do with the sea, right? They do dive. They are divers, but they're a sea duck in specific. Did you realize that before? Really, like,
no,
did you
probably not
understand it almost a little bit more on that trip than you did before?
Yeah, because the way they're, if I remember right, wasn't it like certain ducks? Obviously, there were sea ducks, but they didn't count towards like your diver limit. Or whatever, or it was like X amount sea duck limit, but you could still shoot these other divers. Yeah,
that's another thing he went over really well with us. Like this, and this. This is. I mean, obviously he knows it's his state, but
right. So,
So I don't want to get. So that's kind of your thoughts on Jimmy. I'm sure there could be more. You could add in more, but I don't want to get stuck on day 1. I want to just talk about the black ducks. But how did you feel about his skill and knowledge that short little time you met him the night before and the little bit of talk we had the morning of before we got in the boat? I'll tell you what, I'm not going to say, I'll let you because you're here. So that boat ride out.
On day 1?
Yes. Was there any lacking confidence in him? And if there wasn't, why?
No.
Because explain how rough. That was gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. He was saying 6 to 8 foot rollers. I mean, for one, the boat was pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
It was a
small.
it was a Steiger. What was
Steiger
it?
craft,
28 foot or something like that.
Yeah.
Deep hull. It was a nice boat. So, for one, I guess it doesn't mean that you know what you're doing if you have the boat, but based off of, I guess he had pretty good skill driving it, so yeah, I trusted him. And later on, he even told us, he's like, yeah, when I first got this, he was taking it out, he was practicing, maneuvering, putting himself in different situations and stuff like that. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was.
So
it was
all that
rough.
build up to that ride, you didn't even have no worries at all going out there.
No,
like in the little tiny bit.
No, not really.
I didn't either.
Not really.
But it was all his knowledge and what he talked about before that kind of gave me that, because I promise you, if I wouldn't have known him as good as I did at that point, I might have been a little concerned. You hit one of those wrong, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you're running straight into 8-foot roller.
Yeah.
In a 28-foot, that's not that big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the moment, it's starting to feel like I feel the same way. I didn't feel like a slight bit of hesitation, but I was trying to think about other people and other situations. And I thought I wouldn't just feel comfortable in this with anybody.
No. Oh, no. No. So, yeah. So, do you want to go to the Black Duck Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we can talk about day one with Travis or whatever, because that was his first time shooting old squall.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next day, day two, what we're trying to get around to talking about is, so it was totally different from day one. This day, we actually took, I think it was like a 16 or 17 foot, did he call it a skiff? I can't remember what it was. But anyways, it was a smaller boat. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of packed on there. Mm-hmm. But there was no wind this day, so it was calm. He was like, it's going to be a really short boat ride. We're going to go out to an island. I'm going to drop you guys off. I'll do the decoys in the boat because it's too deep to set them up. And so he did just that. We were ready. He came, parked the boat on the other side of the island, came back, and we were just talking about kind of expectations for the day, right? So he's like, they're going to come in early, be ready. We got to be quiet right at before shoot time, because if they hear us or see us or whatever, they're going to go out 200-300 yards, and then everything's going to land out there, and we're not going to get any chances. So we were set up. We were ready, and everything happened just like he said. So I'm trying to remember now. So we were ready to go. We had seen birds come in. It's before shoot time still. And finally, I mean, it's that time, right, where it's like you keep checking your phone or your watch like every minute, and it's like, okay, it's shoot time, and we see birds. It's still a little dark. You can't really. And
he
really
didn't know what they were, though. Remember, he was like, "That's a black duck. That's a black duck. That's a black duck."
Yeah, he knew what they were. And so,
and we all were sitting by each other.
Yeah,
and we all had birds we could pick out. Right?
Yeah,
yours being way out there.
We kind of hesitated for just a real short period, just like maybe a minute. Probably felt longer, but we were like, should we shoot him? We should shoot him. Let's shoot him, kind of talking back and forth. But what it was is we all three wanted to shoot at the same time at different birds. So we had the best opportunity at getting, because you can only shoot 2 apiece per day. So
let's bring something up before. Your bird, could you tell it was way out there? Like, you knew that was way out there, right?
Yeah, I really didn't think I was going to get one.
So you didn't act. Okay. I was wondering how you felt about that, because the day before we weren't shooting, and this is something that's just registering in my head. We were shooting our ammo, right? We were shooting heavy shot. Were you? Because I know I was. Did you shoot?
Yes.
At the end, we shot a little bit of his TSS.
Uh-huh.
But did you get to see the power of that TSS the day before and have confidence in it? Because I don't remember having that same thought process.
The only thing is, didn't Jimmy make that awesome shot on day one?
Which one?
That was day one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, when he leaned out like this?
When he leaned over the boat like that? I think that was day one, wasn't it?
I think that was day one. You're right. I think it was. It was day one.
Yeah. So
did he kind of have a little bit?
That was like an eye-opener.
Okay.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've been shooting for a long time.
Yeah.
That was like a next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was far.
But mainly we were shooting ours, right? Our ammo that we brought.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't really get to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but we didn't have to take super far shots for the most part anyways.
No, but we did some on the water. Remember how much the wind would move our shot pattern?
Yeah.
And
from
that was
left to right.
Yes.
Whichever the wind was blowing, when you'd shoot, you'd see your pattern, and it was still getting blown by the wind.
And did you ever realize it moved it that much? Like, did you ever visually get to see it? I never have.
I don't think I ever really thought of that, because most of the time we're not seeing our pattern on the water.
Right.
Right.
which is the difference between that sea ducks and
Right.
not that we were shooting them I'm saying after you would hit them, they're so tough.
Right.
You have to shoot them again because you cannot take a chance. And man, that was such a huge. That's why he always talks about on the podcast the learning experience of shooting on the water, because of that right there. So it's like now I know why he talks about that so much, because he gets to see what it does.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you that. So even though you've seen something, it was like, okay, you hadn't fully comprehended the power of that TSS yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your bird, we marked for sure because there was decoys and it was on the other side of it. It was 72 yards from where you took the shot. Okay.
70 yards sitting on the water.
Sitting on the water, which is even harder sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go back to where
Yeah. So anyways, maybe a minute or two after shoot time, we all shot at the same time. I was in the middle, and there was a pair of birds on the left, pair on the right, and then there was like a group of 6 way out in the middle. So we all shoot, boom. Travis killed one, Titus killed one, and
I actually shot
I shot one.
Hold on a sec.
What?
So that first shot, did you kill that one?
Mm-hmm.
Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't even flinching. Were you shocked at all?
I think I only shot once too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I wonder why you didn't shoot that one coming from Travis's side and the one I shot. Were you kind of focused on if you killed the one you shot?
No, I seen it. I don't know. I just didn't.
Huh.
I guess I don't really know why I didn't, but.
So in that first volley, we all killed one. So did he kill his too?
Mm-hmm.
So boom, our first
down.
black ducks.
Yeah.
And then the one that was on Travis' side left and flew from right to left.
Yeah.
And I shot and dropped that one. So I was done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how that went. And then we left him out there for a while. And then I think, was it when you guys had left, I think another one came in and Travis shot? Because you didn't see his second one get shot, right?
I don't think so.
You were back from my second one, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometime when they were either going to get the boat or like starting to go out, another black duck just worked actually really close right in. Travis shot that one. And then later on, basically the same thing happened.
So were we on the boat when he shot that one?
Mm-hmm.
We were in the boat getting birds when
you were gone. Whether it was like,
okay, so we walked over to the boat.
Yeah.
Around the corner.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess I don't remember that. Okay, obviously I don't. I wasn't there, but
yeah.
I didn't know that's when he killed his other one.
Well, I guess think of this. Did you guys pick up his second black duck?
That's what I don't remember. I don't remember doing that.
So I don't know. I don't know if
I guess it's on video.
I don't know if it was when you guys had already come back and was like walking back. Then he shot one.
That's when it might have
been.
Maybe. Actually.
Yeah. I don't know, but I knew you were still not fully back. And then, man, now I'm starting to guess because then I remember Travis when they were out there looking for one. They got that white wing.
Yep.
So I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
But anyways, it was, I mean, honestly, in all reality, it was an extremely easy hunt just because he already kind of knew what all was going to play out. I mean, he was calling
called
shots.
To the tee.
Yeah, he really did. And so, like, we were, it was cold. I was cold that day.
What was it, like 15 or 10? I was cold
most of the days.
It was like 12 or 15, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That day. Luckily, it wasn't windy because it would have been gnarly.
The second day or the third day was windy.
Yeah.
And the first day was a little windy, but it was cold the whole time. I mean, we were sitting there for a good little while. I mean, luckily we weren't in the water. I mean, man, I don't even know if you could sit in the water. It was so cold, but it was fairly cold. But no, I mean, overall that was a highlight, right? Because those were our black ducks. But
that was our main number one priority. On that trip.
Yeah. So basically, boom, boom, boom. We shoot 3. You shot your second one, so that's 4. And we sat there for a while, and they started drifting. So finally, Jimmy was like, let's go get them. So you and Jimmy went to pick them up, and you started picking up all the black ducks. And then when you got to mine, you picked it up, and it was banded.
And mind you, we knew before we got to him. Jimmy was like, "Okay, that's yours," which we all agree. Like,
it was easy.
Yeah. It was easy. So he was like, Okay, Tyus, this is yours we're coming up on. So it wasn't like we were waiting to see what was what, right?
Yeah.
Like
no, and that was kind of nice because yours and Travis's were so far left and right this way.
There's no question.
And then mine was like quite a ways out. Like it was easy to know which ones was which because they were so far from each other. So yeah, you got that one and picked it up. It was banded. Started hollering, but you guys were so far out we couldn't even.
You couldn't even hear me hollering.
No,
really?
No. And then you call, and I'm probably so out of it. He's all, "It's banded." I'm like, "Sick, awesome." But I didn't. He's all, I go, "Whose is it? Who shot it?" And he all, "You did." I was like, "No way." So yeah, no, that was crazy. I was so when we brought it back, I was shocked how much bigger they are.
I know.
They're
huge. Yeah. They're huge.
I mean, at least they feel huge.
They're bigger. Dude.
They're
so much
they're
bigger.
big.
Look at that mallard. Think about how much bigger that black duck was. Than
almost twice. It's like,
I mean, even that one's bigger. That one's kind of a small one, but it's not even close to the same, dude.
They're huge.
Not even close.
They're huge. But so the band was worn off like quite a bit. I think I could see 4 numbers, something like that, like half of it. And I was just like, man, I was kind of worried because the last band we shot that was worn, we never ended up recovering like the band info. So I was like, oh man, I hope I can get this. And part of it looked really thin, so I was like, oh man. But I was still excited. And then the nostril tag or the bill tag, whatever he's called it,
nasal tag.
I thought that was cool. I'd never even heard of that actually. I don't know where all they do that, but in the video you could see the nostril, like he had eventually just somehow ripped it out.
I still don't grasp how he did that. Like what
I don't know.
happened?
Yeah, unless he like caught it on something and just ripped it. I don't know, because that's pretty. Yeah, that seems like that'd be pretty hard to do. But you could totally tell he did because
didn't he say something about ice or something possibly frozen up?
Maybe.
Didn't he say something like that?
I don't know, maybe. But
and it was clean too. You know what I mean? Like it was a clean. Because if you think about how that runs down,
you could tell though that.
No, you could tell.
Ripped. Yeah,
but I meant it wasn't like jagged, like a piece was left here of it. It was just a clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Like literally he ripped it out or something ripped it out. I don't know how it could do that, but I mean, if you think about it, like I'm just looking at those bills. The bill on that is so much bigger. Like they got to be quite a bit more powerful of a bird. You know, so that was really cool. That was like, man, I never even heard of that, but eventually. Staying with the band, I did end up etching it and got the full numbers and know
that for
a fact that's the right.
Do you have a picture of it?
Of the band?
Yeah, with the etched. Because it tore it up pretty good.
It tore it up quite a bit.
You had to do it a long time for it to finally pop, huh?
Yeah. So
tell everybody in case they've ever want to do that, how you do that.
That was my first time actually doing it till it worked. So like I said, every other band has either been where you could read it, or the other one we weren't able to do that. But who is it? Delta. Delta has a good video. I don't remember the guy's name that did it, but he diluted it in water. And man, this has been like several months, multiple months ago, so I can't remember now. He would basically say, put it in for this time, take it out, you dip it in the clean water, and then set it on a napkin. And it has to do with lighting too, like have the right lighting.
Is it this one?
If you clicked on it, I would know. Yep, that's it.
Okay, so guys, if you want to type in Bird Band Recovery, how to reveal hidden numbers. Bird Band Recovery, how to reveal hidden numbers from Delta Waterfowl's channel. And it's a 4-year-old video. And when I tried to do this video wasn't even on here because that was 4 years ago. So I feel like we just didn't have the right information to know to keep going with it.
So he diluted the muriatic acid with water. I don't know. I mean, try it. I did at first, and it didn't do nothing at all. So I don't know. I guess so. What I ended up doing is just doing straight muriatic acid, because when you put it in there, you're wanting it to bubble and fizzle.
Yeah.
Because it's literally on the band, because it's literally eating that aluminum. So again, he says the time to have it in the acid, then you dip it in the water to
stop it.
Yeah, to stop it, right? And then you check. So and actually it took longer than I thought. Even with straight muriatic acid, I would put it in there and take it out, put it in there, take it out, put it in there. I think I did it for like a total of like over 5 minutes in the acid. And to get that final last number. And you just don't believe like it's going to work, but it does, because the numbers are stamped or pressed, not like cut. So that part of the aluminum is more dense than the rest of the band, and that's the only reason that it works. Believe it or not. But like, it's eating all the parts, but because that one part is more dense, you can see the number form.
Because it was smashed?
Yes, because it was smashed.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really like compacts it. That makes sense. Okay.
So,
yeah. So what was the band info?
So yeah, I was worried about that. But yeah, anyways, come back and I was trying different numbers too, and I was like, oh, maybe that will work. But that did not work, like, because I only needed 3 numbers or whatever. I was trying a combination of numbers, and that did not work, because even when I knew what my numbers were, it would say, it would basically question me, because it said the band info is so old. Are you sure like this is right, or something like that? I can't remember the exact wording, but it was like, it basically was like, are you sure that's right? Because it didn't seem like it was. But I recovered the numbers. I knew it was right. And when they sent it back, so it was banded January 21st, 2014. It was killed December 13th, 2024. So over, almost 11 years old. Almost.
Wait, when was it banded? I mean, how old was it?
It was banded in 2014. So the species was mallard American cross. No, a mallard cross American black duck. And it said the age of bird was hatched in 2012 or earlier. So the band itself was
11.
Yeah, almost. And then it was 2 years older than that. Basically, it says hatched in 2012 or earlier.
Yeah, they don't really fully know. So 12, I mean, over 12 years old.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
The bander was Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection. Says North Franklin, Connecticut. So Franklin Management Area. Yeah. So anyways, that's by far upwards and away the oldest band I've shot.
Oh yeah. Well, and wasn't he questioning there should have been nasal tag info, or did you see nasal tag info on there? Didn't he ask you that? Or was he asking me that probably to ask you?
I've never seen anything on that.
I think because he shot one like that and he said it was on his. I think he even sent me a picture of it. So we know that's what it was, dude.
Right.
I mean, what else would it be, right?
Yeah.
And the reason he said why they would do this is the biologist or whatever could take spotting scopes or binoculars and look from way out and count, do a bird count that way. And I don't know if it was just Drake, because it was a Drake, right? Well, yeah, it was a Drake. I don't know why it's that. So I thought he said something about them doing it to the Drakes only, but I can't remember. That doesn't probably jive. I'm sure they probably just did whatever they could do. But it's kind of interesting. I think they realized it probably is not a good idea how to do that. But I think Jimmy was saying there's not a ton more of those because they stopped doing it way back.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of know you're getting an older one too.
What's crazy is because it's on the East Coast and we don't have any over here, like the amount of basically they call them like crosses.
Right.
They call them hybrids, but in other words, it's not 100% true black duck.
Mm-hmm.
Like both of mine I shot were hybrids. Were both of yours hybrids, or did you shoot one of each?
I thought I shot a pure one, but I thought Travis, because what they were saying is the white on the end of the was it the primary or the secondary? I think it was the secondaries. So like those wings right there was like white, like a white.
Mm-hmm.
But one of mine I don't think had any white on it.
Oh, really? Because I knew for sure at least one of Travis's was a pure because there was no white.
No, it was, and it was a hen, right?
Yeah,
a pure. But even the hen was beautiful. I thought.
Yeah, and the color on the was the speculum, or the secondary, whatever it's called. It was a different color, which is really really pretty.
Actually, you're the one that's right.
I wasn't.
These are primaries. These are secondaries. It was the speculum. It's at the bottom of the speculum is where if it's not pure, it has that white.
Yeah. Like the purple or the blue on the mallard, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there on the bottom. The two, I think you and Travis both shot one or something. I don't remember now. But on the black duck, yeah, it's just that full color, and both of mine I shot had a little bit of white on the bottom. So, pretty cool. I was right. I feel like pictures actually don't do justice. I feel like they're prettier in person.
Okay. Secondaries and speculums the same thing.
Okay.
You said that, and then I was like, wait, maybe I'm wrong. But those two are because you got your primary, your end ones, and then you got your secondaries or your speculum.
Gotcha. Okay.
Forming the speculum.
Gotcha.
And then your tertials, middle coverts, greater covert. Okay. But what were you saying before that about picture?
Oh, I was just saying I feel like they're prettier in person now than pictures.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And just the sheer size of them. I mean, they're just big.
You just can't understand it until you hold it. It's kind of like a fit, like bass. I've seen guys hold up like 10-pound bass. I'm like, that don't look like 10-pound. When I caught that 5-pound, I thought, oh, this thing's huge. But on camera, it doesn't. And I think it's the same way. It's really hard to judge size on a camera. Like people usually think I'm a lot smaller than I am. Yeah, right. You know what I will say though? I always think people look shorter on camera because like Elliot and them, these all dudes are like your height or taller. They're big dudes.
Elliot's
he's pretty
dude.
tall.
Yeah.
But in camera, he just doesn't look like that. So it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. Everyone's like, oh, Ty's, and then they see me and they're like, oh.
Yeah. So what? The camera adds 10 pounds and like takes away what? 5 inches?
5 inches, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's just out of curiosity? Obviously, you're mounting. Are you mounting both those black ducks or just one, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I mean, obviously the banded one is getting mounted. I don't know if I want to do. I don't know. I've thought about it a lot. I've really been wanting to do a decoy mount, but I don't think that would really be good with the band. So I don't know if I just want to do a dead mount. I'm not sure. Sometimes like Travis acts funny on how he like, he can't do that. Like he'll act like he can't do something. And it's like, I don't know. I've come to terms like if Travis doesn't mount it, I'm just not going to get it mounted. Like, I don't know. He acts like he's not that good, but I feel like he's actually one of the best. But
okay. He's good. He can do whatever you want. He's just going to stress him out a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you decided on yours?
Well, yeah.
You were going to do both.
I think I'm going to do, yeah. I wasn't going to at first, but then after I seen him, I was like, I got to do both. It's too cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I shot him in the same sequence. I was like, boom, the first shot on the water. The second one was flying, boom, I shot him. But I think I'm going to do dead. And I thought about doing dead mount with them both hanging. Then I thought, well, what about one? Make the plaque shorter, just enough for one. And then the lip of it, put a dead, like with his wing down like you had on that one. Because I think, to me, that mount right there is by far the favorite mount I've ever seen of anybody. I don't know why. Well, you got 3 prime birds, pintail mallard widgeon, and it's the best I've ever seen Travis do. I feel like all his feather, just how it's just perfect. They're perfect specimens, and it's like
an incredible job on that.
I'm like, dude, but the problem is, it might look weird with one duck hanging and then one duck on a lip. Maybe I need to put both black ducks and then lay a. I don't know. I don't think I would lay anything. For some reason, I like yours so much. I was like, I'd really like to have that kind of setup.
Mm-hmm.
But it might. We talked about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not the best choice. I probably need to hang both of them. Honestly, that's.
Are you talking about You're just talking about the backboard too?
Yeah,
because
just to save room, right, dude? See how skinny that is?
Yeah.
Kind of want to keep in that general deal, but with the lip. But I think they're too special, dude, and they mean too much to me. It was like one of my top birds I've ever wanted to shoot. So I need to just do a full. Deal. Honestly.
Yeah, especially that lip would have to be pretty big. Because that bird's so big.
How big is your lip though? You had a widgeon on it.
Oh yeah, I mean look at that widgeon. Imagine that black duck.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and he had the one wing tucked with the other draped, right? So it was like, I bet you it wasn't no more than 6 inches.
Yeah, probably not. And then he can make it to where it holds it on there too. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do both hanging dead mount just on the same board.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. So.
And I'm kind of picky about my positioning too, right? Like, I don't know. Me and Travis sometimes have a different, but the funny thing is, Travis, I think you usually just let him do whatever he wants.
Sometimes.
Or do you pick,
sometimes. I have been really particular on some, like that dead mount.
That's how you said
that's
you
how
wanted
we
it?
want it. Yeah, that's how I said I wanted it. Like,
did you have a picture or you just wanted it?
Yeah, I did have a picture. And I think he had asked like, oh,
you wanted to
why don't we
change
do? Yeah, he wanted to change a little something, and I'm like, no, dude, just do it. But some mounts I've just been like, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then some mounts I've been like specific, because he usually has really. I'm not the most creative person. He usually has good creative ideas.
Oh yeah, he looks at that stuff for his whole life. Yeah. He's looking at mounts and pictures and birds.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, between that and day 3. Yeah, I have to spend a little bit of taxidermy money.
Yeah, I know. And that's the other thing is, and thinking about the work in his head, he's already told me how much I feel like I got, because he wants to mount all of ours. He wants to do it.
Yeah.
But then he's thinking that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to put his stuff to the side. You watch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bug him about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, dude, come on. But that being said, the eider's one thing. Like, I do want that mount too. That's an amazing bird, huge. But I don't want those things to get freeze burn either.
Yeah, I know. Actually, that just made me think. Like, this is kind of going off the side, but that made me think. We used to kind of go over and hang out when he was doing the bird. I might actually go over there and hang out for a while, like the day he's putting it together.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Kind of hang out.
Make it worse on him.
That'll be
make him more nervous.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was saying something about me skinning it out, and I'm like, I could, if that helps. I kind of do when I feel bad, dude. That's a lot of birds. I was like, if I can help out, make it easier for you, I would. I don't want to flesh. Like, if it wasn't something important, I wouldn't mind fleshing it for him too. But I do not want to tear through the skin of that bird, dude. I cannot mess those birds up. He won't. He does it enough. He's fine.
Right.
If I could skin it, maybe I could do it without messing it, cutting a hole in. I think I could do that probably pretty easy. So maybe I'll do that and help him out. That's just one more step. It saves him time. But all in all, man, that was an awesome experience. A lot more we could talk about. But I think that pretty much, 30 seconds. We'll talk about this more when Travis gets on here. But what did you think about the food in 30 seconds?
Oh, man. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Fish and chips, lobster. I keep wanting to say clams, not clams.
Oysters.
Have
you ever tried oysters before that?
No.
Do you like them?
I do. I really do, actually.
I loved them.
I really do.
I'm hooked. I want more.
And I don't remember all the different kinds we tried. We tried a couple different ones, but man, they were good. I was like,
slimy.
Yeah, a
It's
little.
weird.
I was a little like, oh, I don't know, but like, drain the water out and put just a tiny little bit of cocktail sauce and horseradish. Man, I could eat a lot of that.
Hey, I think I ate 5 that first night. I felt guilty because I know that, but no one was like, Travis was like, gagging, dude. But anyways, good times. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I think we covered it pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening and thanks for coming over, recording this. We'll get Travis and him over here. I think he was busy today. So if you enjoyed it, we'll see you guys on the next one.